Hello students, welcome to Digital Learning DCE. Myself Dr. Manjula S, working as Assistant Professor of Botany in Government First Grade College, Ramanagara. In this session, let us study about lichens, their general account and thallus structure. Let me begin with introduction. Lichens are small group of curious plants of composite nature. That means it is made up of with two organisms. Lichens are defined as the structurally organized entity where the plant body is referred as thallus consists of an alga and a fungus. The algal component is referred as phycobiont and fungal component of lichen thallus is referred as mycobiont. In this association, both the organisms, both algae and fungi, are living in intimate association called symbiotic relationship where both of them are mutually getting benefited without affecting one another. The branch of botany which generally deals with study of lichens is referred as lichenology. In this slide, we can observe variously colored lichens. Some of them are growing on the bark of the tree, some of them are growing in barren rock, and some are growing in the undisturbed soils. Some of them are growing on the walls of house. Let us study the general characters of lichens one by one in detail. First one, occurrence. I mean to say the distribution. The lichens are worldwide in distribution, usually prefer to grow in the presence of sufficient moisture, direct sunlight and in pure atmosphere. That means lichens grow in the atmosphere which is free from air pollutants. They found on the bark of the trees, dry logs of wood, barren rocks, undisturbed soils and also on the walls of households. Coming to the nature of association, as I already told, it is a symbiotic relationship where the plant body is thalloid in nature and consisting of the fungal component called mycobiont and algal component called phycobiont. Where the thallus of lichen neither resembles the algal or fungal morphology, but it is different from the both. The fungal component is more prominent, maybe around 90% of the whole thallus, whereas the algal component is less compared to the fungal component. When the fungus come in contact with the algal cells, they are going to form a symbiotic association, going to form a entity where both the organisms are mutually getting benefited. In this diagram, we can observe the proportion of algae and fungi where the fungal hyphae occupy major portion of the lichen thalli and the algal cells occupy less portion of the lichen thallus. Coming to the components of lichen thallus and their function. As I already told, the fungal component is referred as mycobiont, which maybe belongs to the class Ascomycotina, Basidiomycotina or Deuteromycotina. Ascomycotina are the class of fungi which majorly reproduce through producing sexual spores called ascospores, whereas the fungi belong to Basidiomycotina reproduce sexually by forming a special spores called basidospores. And the class Deuteromycotina, which is otherwise known as the imperfect fungi, in this group the fungi does not represent the sexual phase but they reproduce only through asexual spores. Coming to the phycobiont, the algal component of lichen thalli, in this component the algae may belongs to Chlorophyceae, which is a green algae, Cyanophyceae or blue-green algae, Xanthophyceae or yellow-green algae, Phaeophyceae or brown algae. In this association, the algal component, since it provided with the chloroplast, the photosynthesizing machinery, It is able to synthesize its own food by the phenomenon of photosynthesis. The food synthesized by the algae can be used by both algae and fungi. Since fungi lacks chloroplast, it is unable to synthesize its own food. It is going to take the food from the algal component. In exchange, the fungal component, since it is made up of with spongy Eiffel-like structure, it is able to absorb the water and it provides the water required by the algal component for synthesizing food. Along with that, it also gives protection to algae during dry environmental conditions. So, in the lichen-thallus association, algae synthesize food for the fungal component, whereas fungal component absorb water and also give protection to the algal component. The lichens are of various colors, which is mainly because of the pigmentation present in the algal component. The pigments are nothing but the coloring substances. Due to that coloring substances of algal component, lichen will appear such particular color. So, if it is green in color, then it belongs to Cyanophyceae. If it is yellow-green in color, the algal component belongs to Xanthophyceae. If it is brown in color, it belongs to Phaeophyceae. If it is blue-green in color or ash color, then the algal component belongs to Cyanophyceae. Here, we can observe the different lichens which are variously colored. Coming to the classification of lichens, based on the type of fungal components, lichens are of three types. Usually lichens are classified into various types considering different things like fungal component, the type of substratum on which they grow, and based on their external morphology. So let us study one by one in detail. Based on the type of fungal component of the lichen thalli, the lichens are categorized into three types like ascolichens, basidiolichens, and lichen imperfecti. As I already told, in ascolichens, the fungal component belongs to class Ascomycetes, which usually reproduce through ascospores. In the basidiolichens, the fungal component belongs to class basidiolichens, and here they reproduce through formation of basidospores. In the third category, that is lichen imperfecti, here the fungal component belongs to class Deuteromycetes. Coming to the second classification, that is based on the substratum on which they grow, lichens are generally classified into five types like saxicolous lichen, carticolous lichen, terricolous lichen, folicolous lichen, musicolous lichen. Saxicolous lichens are the lichens which prefer to grow on hard surfaces like stone or rock, whereas corticolous lichens are grown on tree barks or tree trunks. Terricolous lichens are those lichens which grow on undisturbed soil surfaces, and the fourth type is folicolous lichen. They are growing on the surface of the leaves of some plants, whereas the musicolous lichens prefer to grow on the surface of mosses. Based on the thallus morphology or their external structure, how they look externally, the lichens are categorized into three types: crustose lichen, foliose lichen, and fruticose lichen. So in this slide we can observe this is the first picture of crustose lichen, where it is the crust like. It is tightly attached to the substratum, where we cannot distinguish it from the substratum very easily. So this is a crustose lichen, whereas the foliose lichen, it looks like a leaf, and it is usually with dorsiventral thallus, and it has more lobes where we can distinguish them very easily, and it is attached to the substratum only at the point of risings. And the third category of lichen based on their morphology is fruticose lichen. This fruticose lichen are shrubby like structure which are usually upright or hanging down from the substratum. Coming to some more characters of lichens, lichens reproduce vegetatively by fragmentation, ascidia formation and soredia. Lichens also reproduce asexually, which is mainly because of the algal component present in them. The asexual reproduction in case of lichens takes place by spores such as Aedia and Pycnidia. Only fungal component is involved in bringing about the sexual reproduction in case of lichen thalli, where the male sex organs are referred to as spermagonia and female sex organs are called as carpogonia. As a result of sexual reproduction, they are going to form a special type of fruiting bodies which are either disc-shaped or flask-shaped. Disc-shaped fruiting bodies are called as apothecia and flask-shaped fruiting bodies are called as perithecia. The growth of the lichen is extremely slow, which can survive high temperature and dry conditions for longer time. Because of this reason, they can grow very easily on dry substratum and also tolerate a dry environmental conditions. Lichens are going to produce a specific acid called lichenic acid, which is responsible for plant succession. Coming to structure of lichen thallus. So based on their external morphology, how they look like externally, lichens are categorized into three types like crustose lichen, foliose lichen and fruticose lichen. Let us study one by one in detail. The first one is crustose lichen. In case of crustose lichen, as the name itself indicates, here the thallus is crust-like. It is flat, very thin and without any distinct lobes. We cannot identify any lobes in this type of lichen thalli. They are closely attached to the substratum as a crust on rocks, soil or bark of the tree. Here the thallus may be very firm in texture, partially or completely embedded on the substratum, and common examples of crustose lichen includes Graphes and Rhizocarpon. Coming to the second type of lichen based on lichen thallus, our external structure, that is foliose lichen. They are flat, dorsiventrally flattened, broad, smooth with leaf-like lobes are appear where they present. They look like thallus of liverworts. So this can be easily separated from the substratum with distinct lobes, and they are attached to the substratum only by means of a rhizoid-like structure called rhizines. Common examples of foliose lichen include Cetraria, Peltigera and Parmelia. Coming to the third type, that is fruticose lichen. They are the well-developed advanced lichen which look like a shrubby plant with more branches on their thallus. They grow either erect or hanging from the substratum. Here the thallus is attached to the substratum only at the base by means of a flattened disc-like or pad-like structure. The common examples of fruticose lichen include Cladonia and Usnea. Based on the internal structure or their anatomy, lichens are generally classified into two types, homomerous lichen or heteromerous lichen. Let us study them in internal structure in detail. The internal structure of homomerous lichen thallus is very simple and it is less differentiation in nature. The thallus shows simple structure with less differentiation. I mean to say it consists of loosely interwoven fungal hyphae with algal cells which are equally distributed throughout the thallus. There is no differentiation of zones in the lichen thallus of internal structure of homomerous lichen. So it consists of loosely interwoven hyphal mass. Here and there it is intermixed with the algal cells. It is usually the algae belongs to cyanobacteria. So these are the chains, in chains, algal cells are in chains. Maybe nostoc is involved in formation of Homomeris lichen thalli. Coming to internal structure of Heteromeris lichen thalli, it is little bit shows considerable differentiation, and it has different layers in a structure. It has 4 different zones called the upper cortex, followed by algal zone, and the third layer is called medulla, and the last layer or last zone is called lower cortex. Here the upper cortex is generally made up of horizontally laid fungal hyphae, which is usually protective in function, which is hard and protective in function, and this upper cortex is followed by the second zone called algal zone. In the Heteromeris lichen thalli, the algae is restricted only to this zone. In comparison to Homomeris thalli, the algae occur throughout the lichen thallus. Whereas in case of Heteromeris lichen thallus, the algae is restricted only to the second zone, that is referred as algal zone. So, which is usually photosynthetic in nature and synthesize the food responsible for, which is used by the algae, the fungal hyphae. Then this algal zone is followed by third layer called medulla. Medulla is generally made up of the fungal hyphae, which is run in all directions, which is loosely packed, and it is usually storage in function. The medulla is followed by, and medulla occupies the larger portion of the lichen thallus in Heteromeris lichen. And this medulla is followed by the last layer or last zone called lower cortex. Again, lower cortex is made up of with the fungal hyphae, which is tightly packed, and this lower cortex of fungal hyphae is give rise to bundles of hyphal structures called rhizines on their lower surface, which are generally helps in fixation of the lichen thallus to the substratum. So, based on the distinct zones, Heteromeris thallus is differentiated into different layers, and majority of the lichens exhibit this type of thallus. Coming to the special structures associated with the lichen thallus, there are many special structures are associated with the lichen thallus, like breathing folds, cephalla, cephalodia, soredia and ascidia. Let me discuss one by one in detail. First one is breathing pores. Breathing pores are localized areas observed on the upper surface of lichen thalli, which generally meant for aeration. So they are usually small pore-like structures, small openings, which are usually restricted to upper cortex of the lichen thalli, meant for aeration or exchange of gases. Breathing of lichen thalli. The second special structure observed in lichen thalli is cephallae. Cephallae are aerating organs found in the lichen thalli, which is usually restricted to lower surface of the lichen thalli, and compared to the breathing pores, their number is less. They are in the form of organized breaks in the lower cortex of foliose lichen. They are also meant for exchange of gases. They appears like a small cup-like white spots on the lower surface of the thalli. Both breathing pores and cephalla are meant for aeration and exchange of gases. Coming to the third structure observed on lichen thalli is cephalodia. Cephalodia are small, hard and dark colored gall-like outgrowths or swellings found on the surface of some lichen thalli, which generally helps in fixation of nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen fixation. That helps in atmospheric nitrogen fixation. Coming to the fourth special structure, that is ascidia. They are small outgrowth formed or observed on the surface of lichen thallus consisting of the cortical cells and algal zone. The function of Isidia is to increase the photosynthetic surface of lichen thalli. So since it is provided with large number of algal zone, it is involved in photosynthesis, additional synthesis of food other than the normal lichen thalli. Coming to the last special structure associated with lichen thalli is Soredia. The Soredia are small bud-like outgrowths developed and scattered on the surface of the lichen thallus, which are recognizable as greyish powdery propagules on the surface of the lichen thallus. They consist of small Eiffel filament which are wrapped around the algal cells. They generally helps in vegetative propagation. They act as a propagules, vegetative propagules. On separation or on detachment from the lichen surface, thallus surface, when they fall on another suitable substratum, they are going to produce one more lichen thalli. Coming to summary of the session, lichens are group of plants, curious plants consisting of both fungus and alga in a single entity which are distributed throughout the world, and they are the indicators of pollution since they prefer to grow in atmosphere free from pollution. The branch of biology deals with study of lichen is called lichenology. They usually prefer to grow on rock surface, tree trunk, logs of wood and also in the soil. The plant body is thalloid in nature, made up of with two important components, living components. One is called mycobiont and another one is called phycobiont. Mycobiont is the fungal component and phycobiont is the algal component, which are living together in an association called symbiotic relationship, where both the organisms are mutually getting benefited without affecting one another, where algae synthesize food for the fungi and fungi in turn absorb moisture and also give protection during dry conditions. Based on their external morphology, lichens are divided into three types like crustose lichen, foliose lichen and fruticose lichen. Whereas an internal structure, they are categorized into two types like homomerous lichen and heteromerous lichen. In case of homomerous, the thalli is simple and it is less differentiated, whereas in case of heteromerous thallus, which is observed by most of the lichen, it get differentiated into different zones like upper cortex, algal zone, which is otherwise known as gonadial zone, followed by medulla and lower cortex. Lower cortex produces small outgrowths, rhizoid-like structures called rhizines, through which they will attach to the substratum. And there are certain specialized structures are also observed on the lichen thallus like breathing pores and cephala, which generally meant for aeration and exchange of gases, cephalodia, isidia and soredia. Isidia is extra photosynthesizing organ, whereas soredia helps in vegetative propagation of the lichen. And lichen reproduce by three methods like vegetative, asexual and sexual means, which you are going to study in detail in the next session. So with this, I am going to conclude the session, and for further details about the topic, you can refer the following references. Thank you.